Plus tonight, major developments from Moscow, including a plan to cut ties with NATO. But first, a dire warning straight from the Kremlin. Just hours after our Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice signed a missile defense deal with Poland, Moscow insisted it will respond to that deal with something more than diplomacy. What exactly more than diplomacy means is unclear, most likely by design. But the Russians had earlier threatened a possible nuclear attack against Poland in response to the missile shield deal there. Secretary Rice says Moscow's comments border on the bizarre.
It will help both the alliance and Poland and the United States respond to the coming threats. Missile defense, of course, is aimed at no one.
Secretary Rice says when you threaten Poland, you perhaps forget that it's not 1988, it's 2008. And the United States has a firm treaty guarantee to defend Poland's territory, as if it was the territory of the United States. So it's probably not wise to throw around those threats. Tonight, Russia does not seem to be backing down. Jennifer Griffin with the news at the Pentagon now. Jennifer, explain what this missile deal includes and why Russia's so all upset about it.
Well, in essence, what Poland agreed to is to have 10 missile interceptors based in silos on their territory about 100 miles from Russia's borders. These are very similar interceptors to the ones that have been tested recently off the coast of California, part of a defensive shield that is being used to protect the west coast of the United States from North Korean missiles. The U.S. wants them in Europe because they want to protect Europe from Iranian missile Shep.
Jen, do we have a way to know whether Russia's really serious with all these threats, or are they just all, as the NATO chief said today, pathetic rhetoric?
Well, Condoleezza Rice also called it pathetic rhetoric today. A nuclear attack by Russia on Poland, highly unlikely at this point in time. As you mentioned earlier, Poland, unlike Georgia, is a part of NATO, and as Article 5 of the NATO treaty says, an attack on one member of NATO is an attack on all. Shep.
Jen Griffin live tonight at the Pentagon. Russia's also pretty fired up about the situation in Georgia, and we're starting to see some fresh fallout. Here's what's happening right now. Russia has promised to pull most of its forces from the former Soviet Republic by Friday. So far, we've not seen much movement at all. And from everything we're hearing from our reporters on the ground there, Russian forces are still very much in control.
To move around the country of Georgia now, you basically need Russian papers. You need Russian ID, Russian accreditation, or else those Russian checkpoints in Georgia won't let you pass.
You heard what Steve Harrigan said there, right? You need Russian paperwork to get around in another country. Maybe this is why the Georgian president, Mikhail Saakashvili, tells the Associated Press he does not believe Russia will fulfill its pledge to withdraw. He says, sure, the Russians are clearing out from a couple of towns, but all they're really doing is grabbing new territory in other places. Adding to all of this, yesterday NATO reported its future ties with Russia would be dependent on whether Moscow makes good on its pullout pledge. But today, Russia did a little whatever. We're not waiting around to see whether you'll be friends with us, and reportedly told Norway it is cutting ties with NATO. Jennifer, if it's true that they're cutting ties with NATO, the Russians, what would that mean?
Well, not much, really. The relationship involves a few shared naval exercises in the Mediterranean. They also share some information with NATO on heroin trafficking out of Afghanistan. The relationship is largely symbolic, and no one here at the Pentagon is taking these threats very seriously, Shep.
Jennifer Griffin for us at the Pentagon tonight. Jen, thanks. There's word tonight that the United States may be close to hammering out a deal on troop presence in Iraq. Military officials tell Fox News tonight they're negotiating. Teams for both countries have agreed on a draft plan for reducing U.S. troops in Iraq after the end of the year. No word yet on details of that draft, but the military officials tell Fox it is not a final agreement, and it would have to be approved by the highest levels of both governments. Now, the White House and State Department report that nothing has been finalized.